As the Annunciation House in El Paso continues its work with immigrants, this weekend a renewed call for action. The Annunciation House will have its Convocation this weekend. We're going to tell you about it. In the last year, when record numbers of mothers and children streamed across the southern border, congressional action on immigration reform has stalled. The president earlier this month tried to reassure frustrated immigrant advocates that he will try to fix as much of the immigration system on his own as possible before the end of 2014. Republicans, as you've heard before, they say much of the answer lies in border security.
We had a flood of children coming across the border, once again proving that no good immigration bill can pass until we have real border security. The only way to do it, and frankly the right way to do it, is to do it in a broad bipartisan way.
And joining us now is Fernando Garcia, the director of the Annunciation House. Sorry, Ruben Garcia. I don't know why we put Fernando Garcia. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's
Good.
always a delight to be here with you.
Good to see you. So you have a big event coming up this Saturday. A lot of people will be speaking at the event. Tell us a little bit about what that does for Annunciation House.
The Convocation is the result of, it's a way of trying to respond to what happened after the arrival of a lot of the Central Americans that came to South Texas. That kind of triggered off a great deal of anti-immigrant sentiment. It kind of brought it back out again. And it gives the impression that perhaps a majority of people in the United States are anti-immigrant, and that simply isn't the fact. We want the Convocation to give people in El Paso the opportunity to gather to express their own solidarity with the immigrant, that we believe that the immigrant has a place, that they have the right to have their own needs understood and protected.
And we did see a difference in El Paso in the way that it reacted to the immigrant influx. I mean, in other cities, even in California, there were major protests against the immigrants. In El Paso, there were hundreds of people donating blankets, food, clothing for these unaccompanied minors. But I want to ask you about a new development. We've learned that about 70% of the immigrants who were supposed to go to follow-up appointments to court did not show up. So for people who say they should be treated humanely, but at the same time there should be more of an orderly way to get them into this country legally or to have them deported, but they're not following that process. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it is unanimous that the immigration system is broken. I don't think whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, whether you're at the right or the left, there is any disagreement that the immigration system as it presently is right now is broken. Secondly, it is highly politicized. You're hearing a lot of people make statements not because they make sense, not because they advocate some kind of serious solution or response, but because it provides political capital one way or the other. If people believe that a system is credible, they're going to be faithful to that system. We see that upwards of 90% of unaccompanied minors who are able to get legal representation, they make their appointments because they believe the system is credible. I think it's important for us to remember that the United States was one of the key countries to bring about the original United Nations Convention for the Protection of Refugees after World War II. The United States led that. It's in place because of the leadership of the United States, where the United States says, you know what, when people are afraid in their own country for their own safety and welfare, then the world community bears a responsibility to provide that protection.
Okay.
And so that's where The system has to be credible.
And Mr. Garcia, I just want to go over the event this weekend. Saturday, October 11th, 5 p.m. you have music, 6 p.m. the convocation begins. You have all kinds of speakers, County Judge Veronica Escobar, Congressman Beto O'Rourke, Fernando Garcia with the Border Network for Human Rights, even Bishop Mark Seitz with the Catholic Diocese here in El Paso. And it's going to be at the Annunciation House, right?
Correct, there at 1003 East San Antonio. We invite the public to come and lend their support, to let their person say something about our commitment to a credible immigration process.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much
You're
for
very
coming.
welcome.
I
Appreciate the
it.
opportunity.
Thank you.